Brother Nakamaya.
All right, come. Coming at you with another cold cut, giving all honor and all glory to Yahweh, for Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being in the name of the Most High God, Yahweh Shai being the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Right? And on this cold cut, we're going into what you scared of, right? What are you afraid of? And, I don't know if you can see the thumbnail or not, but, most Jakes, right, especially Southern Kingdom, most Jakes seen the movie Friday, right? We know who Debo is. And, really, I didn't even want to get that whole scenario, but just that whole line of exhortation of stop being a being, come on, right? When it comes to doing this work, we got to put all things aside to do the work of the Most High, right? You got a precept you want to kick it off with, King?
Come, let's kick it off, man. We'll kick it off with the classic. We'll go to Sirach, chapter 7, and verse 15. It says, hate not laborer's work, neither husbandry, which the Most High ordained. So it says, hate not laborer's work. What are you afraid of doing the work of the Most High? What are you afraid of? What's holding you back from doing the work of the Most High? That's the whole reason you're here. You gotta realize, as Israelites, your whole reason is to serve the Most High. In the book of let me get Isaiah. Let me go Isaiah 44 real quick. We bring this out all the time. You gotta realize what you're reading. You gotta realize what you're saying when you bring this out. It's Isaiah 44 verse 1. It says, yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. He said Jacob is his servant. A servant works. A servant put in work. A servant labors. Nobody wants a lazy servant. Nobody wants a servant that just sit around and twiddling his thumbs all day. The servant put in work. The Lord said, O Jacob, my servant. If you're a part of Israel, you're a servant of the Most High. And a lot of brothers put that as their title. They might have put that in their name, the servant of the Most High. The servant put in work. And you can't, you have to do what the Most High says. You can't just pick and choose what you want to do. You're either in the truth or you're not. Right? You got it, King.
Con. And, I wanted to let me back just off of that. And you read Psalms 91 and 1, it says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Right? So when you go back to Hebrews, Hebrews 12, right? The Lord lets you know that he's the father of all spirits. So if you're gonna fear him and then you dwelling in this in the spirit of the Most High, you in the Holy Spirit, you're keeping the commandments, you're keeping the faith in Yahweh Shai, right? He's gonna cover you, right? He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. That's your covering. He's the one that's gonna guide you and protect you in these last days. So if he's the one that's guiding you and protecting you, what is there to be afraid of, right? What is there to be afraid of? Let me get this in Romans, right? Romans chapter 8, and what I want 30. Let me see. Romans 8 and 31. It says, what shall we then say to these things? If the Most High be for us, who can be against us? You see that? And so when it comes to doing the work, hey, you got to have that confidence and that faith that the Most High is on your side, that the Most High is with you. So whatever gifts you have, right? Whatever knowledge and understanding and wisdom you may have, you got to bring that before the Most High. You got to bring it out, and then you got to have that confidence that the Most High is with you, right? And we do these things in sincerity. You don't want to have a prideful spirit when you're going to do the work of the Lord, but you want to have that sincere spirit, and you want to fear Him and not anything else, right? Come, but you got it, King.
Come. Let me get let me get the book of Isaiah chapter 43 and verse 1. It says, but now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. You can't be fearful in this thing. You can't have a fearful heart. You can't be scared when going out there in the highways and byways. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. Brothers, Lord willing, are out there Sabbath, we Shabbat, doing the work of the Lord. And we in the dangerous cities. We're not in the counties. We're not in the suburbs. We're not in the gated communities. We're out there where our people are, in the what you would call the ghettos, the slums, the hoods. We're out there where our people, where the most where the most dangerous things happens, where all the crime happens, and we can't be fearful out there because our people need us. Our people, the people in those situations need us the most. What would we look like? Be out there prophesying against Esau with his polo sweater on and his khaki shorts and his boat shoes. It doesn't make any sense. We're gonna be in dangerous areas when we go out there and do the work, right? Even his brothers bring out all the time. Nazareth was a dangerous city, right? So let me read Isaiah 43 one more time. It says, "But now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name; thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee." So, through all the adversity, all the hard times, all the pain and suffering, the Most High will be with you. You can't be fearful. You gotta have that faith. And if you're fearful, you're lacking faith. You gotta have that faith in the Most High that through hell, through affliction, whatever is going on, brothers know, sisters know, war is about to kick off. What are you going to do at that time? You're going to run to Esau for your protection? You're going to try to go to a military base and say, "Can y'all protect me?" Yeah, look, I'm not. They were like, only people who denounce the Most High can come here. What are you going to do at that time,
Hmm.
right? So you can't be fearful in this thing, right? You got it up.
Con, con, and con. I was holding something, but I want to get this. What I want. Matthew. So like I'm gonna get this. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse number 12. He says, "For fear is nothing else but the betraying of succors which reason offereth." Right? So fear is just right the betraying of succors. Succors is like a place of protection, right? So it's the betraying of your mind thinking that you don't have any protection, right? Which reason offereth, right? And the brothers was going into it last night, right? Brother was going into how a lot of people when you see a spider, you're like, "Oh my God, it's a spider," and you get fearful of the spider. You might get fearful of the situation, but that spider's not worrying about you, right? You may see certain things going on, and you get fearful of the situation, but at the end of the day, if you in the Most High, there's nothing to be afraid of, right? It says, "And the expectation from within being less." Counteth the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. So you're fearing things that aren't even happening. You're fearing the what could. You're fearing the what could happen, right? The what may happen. You're fearing what could and should happen or what you think may happen, but for what? Right? You keep your trust in the Most High. You keep your faith in the Most High, and He'll direct your steps. He'll guide you. He'll protect. He'll protect you. So that's why it's on us to build up our faith in these last days. Right? We got to come to the Most High and pray to the Most High and ask Him to remove any spirits of doubt, to remove any spirits of fear, for us to fear nothing but Him. Because at the end of the day, fear is a spirit. And like I said earlier, going back to Hebrews 12, if the Most High is the Father of all spirits, why fear any spirit? Why have the spirit of fear? Because the Most High is bigger than that spirit of fear, right? And another point, even in Christianity, they would say, they praise through the storm because God is, shining still behind the clouds, right? And they could be talking about sun worship. They could be talking about something on the left hand side and something wicked. But at the end of the day, us as Israelites, knowing the Most High, knowing Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, whatever storm or whatever situation that we may be in, right? Whatever mountain that may be before us, we got to understand that the Most High is bigger than all of that. He's bigger than us. He's bigger than our financial situation. He's bigger than your marital problems. He's bigger than the situation that you may be dealing with your children. He's bigger than that art that you and your brother may have. The Most High is bigger than all these things. So there's no reason to fear anything that may happen to you, right? But Khan, that was it, King. You got it.
Come. Yeah, like the brother said, fear is going to hold you back. Fear is going to have you making excuses. I live in Chicago. We can't go out there. Chicago, you know how dangerous it is in Chicago. A lot of people need the word. We know the situation our people go through. We know the curses our people go through. But if you have faith in the Most High, it's going to protect you through those things. Let me get Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. It says, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness." So the Most High is always going to be with you. He's going to uphold you with his right hand. He's going to protect you if you have faith in the Most High. Now, if you're just out there doing it carnally, you're out there doing it for views, you're out there doing it for likes, then you might not have that protection in the Most High. Most High might cut you down on camera. He might cut you down in front of a group of people because you're doing it in vain. You're doing it in wickedness on the left-hand side and not in righteousness. Read verse 11. It says, "Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish." The Most High might destroy your enemies right in front of you. I'm not going to bring out every single account, but we've seen people that came and scoffed against the service of the Lord, and within the next day or a couple weeks, they was on the news, and brothers have literally seen that happen. People that came up against the service of the Lord, and the next day they was on the news because the Lord sent a death angel to them for mocking the servants or for denying the Lord. So these things happen. We also seen brothers get jammed up. We seen brothers, maybe they wasn't in the right spirit, maybe they wasn't sincere, and the Most High had them get jammed up in this situation also. I'm gonna jump down to verse this whole thing. I'm gonna read verse 12. It says, "Thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing and as a thing of naught. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee." Right? That's kind of what you do with children. The Most High is our Father. So, in children, you see when they about to fall. You sitting there watching them. It's kind of that's how the Most High is. He see you about to fall, you grab their hand real quick. Or they might do something they're not familiar with, and you're guiding them through it. You're holding their hand, you're watching them. They might not even know you're watching them, but you're watching them through that whole situation. Right? And get one more verse. It says, it's like two more. It says, "For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel." The Lord called us a worm. Worm is what you say, bottom of the food chain. But the Most High, and His Majesty and His greatness, that the lowest thing on the food chain is going to be protected. You're not even going to be able to lay a finger on us. The Lord compared us to a worm in our state right now because we're going through the curses. We're destroyed as a people. But even as that worm, you can't destroy us. You're seeing how much they try to do to us in slavery and all the things they try to put in our community. I'm not going to go through the whole list because we'll be here all day. But you see what they try to do to us. And they still can't destroy us because the Lord is still with us. You got it out.
Calm. And there's a certain level of confidence we should move in when we got the Most High with us. Right, I'm gonna get this in Judges. Right, Judges chapter 7, and I'm gonna start at Judges chapter 7. We're going into Gideon. Right, I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, Judges 7:2, "And the Lord said unto Gideon, The people that are with thee are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel vaunt themselves against me, saying, mine own hand have saved me. So the Most High set up a situation where he got the Israelites from thousands down to 300, right? Jumping down to verse number 10, right? Now, this is before they went to war. The Lord says in Judges 7 and 10, but if thou fear to go down, go thou with Furor, thy servant, down to the host, and thou shalt hear what they say, and afterwards shall thy hands be strengthened to go down unto the host. Then went he down with Furor his servant unto the outside of the armed men that were in the host. So he's sending him on like a recon mission, right? To go out to listen to what's going on with the host. If you're in fear, listen to what's going on. If you're in fear, watch the enemy. If you're in fear and you don't trust me, let me show you something, right? Jumping down or continuing on in verse 12, it says, and the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east lay along in the valley, so like grasshoppers for multitude, many of them, right? And their camels were without number, as the sand by the seaside for multitude. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream to his fellow and said, behold, I dreamed a dream. And lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of Midian and came unto a tent and smote it that it fell and overturned it, that the tent lay along. And his fellow answered and said, this is nothing else save the sword of Gideon, right? The sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel. For into his hand have the Most High delivered Midian and all the host. You see that? So now you cut that to today, right? We're Gideon in a sense, right? And if you're fearful, the Lord is telling you, look, hey, listen to these politicians, right? Listen to what these people are talking about. And when you listen to these things and you watch how they're moving and you watch the things that they're doing, they're in fear of the Most High. They fear the Most High. Why you think when it was time to put that poison in your system, they was targeting so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans more than everybody else? They fear us. Why do you think they're trying to make this book, right? Why are you trying to make they trying to make this book anti-Amalek? Why do you think they're doing that? They're doing that because they're in fear of the Most High. They fear Yahweh Shah. They know he's coming, so they're trying to do everything that they can do. Why do you think they're creating bunkers in the earth? Right? Why do you think they're doing all of these things? They're doing all of these things because they know he's coming. They're in fear, right? And any Israelite, right, that receives salvation and that is worthy of being being pulled fully into the new covenant, hey, you're going to be able to make war, right? You're going to be able to go to war with the enemies of the Most High. You're going to be able to smite these Midianites, smite these Amalekites, smite these the rest of these Edomites and these other nations. So what are we in fear of? Right? The Most High has given us signs. He's given us different exhortation through the precepts. He's given us exhortation through the prophecy. He's given us exhortation for the brothers that are around us. Right? So with all of this exhortation, what are we really afraid of? The Most High is the Father of all the spirits. So what are we afraid of? Right? I'm gonna grab that real quick in Hebrews chapter 12. Right? Hebrews chapter 12 and verse number 9. He says, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much more, so like it, shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? You see that? So whatever's going on in your life, right? And we know that we got a lot of tribulation coming up. There's a lot of things, and you got brothers, right? You got brothers that are falling out the truth, trying to get other people to fall out the truth, right? Trying to get other people to denounce being called calling yourself an Israelite, right? Jake said, if you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite, you're an idiot. And I'm like, if you don't call yourself a Hebrew Israelite, you're an idiot. Like, how dare you uh, 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 take the talents that the Most High has given you and then just cast it aside? take the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding he's given you and just trot it underfoot, right? You're the idiot. That's dumb as hell, right? So we got to continue to fear the Most High, continue to walk in His ways, right? Keep His commandments and know that He's with us, right? But Khan, you got it, King.
Come. And men like that need to be quiet. Yeah, men like that don't need to talk anymore. Like they, you know, that's an insane statement. You know, that just call yourself a coward. You don't call it.
Fearful.
Yeah, just say you're a coward. That's basically what it is. But let me get this in. Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Let me.
so like it. You might as well just you know what I mean? You might as well just go all the way back into the world. You know what I'm saying? Get your nails done, put you on a little tutu, right? And go prance around. Because you're fearful, you're a feminine man. Right? The Lord is calling the men in these last days. But Khan, you got it, King.
Yeah. Go to church. Go to church. Sit. Uh, join the usher board. Get your white gloves. And do that little dance they do when they walking down the aisle. You might just go do that. Being, let me get this. Let me get this in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 24. It says, "By faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season." See, Moses, when it says when he came to year, when he's starting to understand what's going on, being under Pharaoh's daughter, he's like, hold on, my people are in slavery. That's kind of how we were, being awakened to this truth. It's kind of like being it's kind of like being the field slave and the house slave. Which one are you going to be? House slaves, they don't want to go back to the field. They're going to keep tap dancing. They're going to keep tap dancing for master, whatever you want to call them, master. And the field slaves, like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to serve the Lord, no matter how much affliction I got to go through. I might got to sleep, and I might got to sleep in a hut. I might not get as much food, but I would rather be out here with my brothers and serve the Most High than to be in that house with the wicked. Yeah, something you want to say, King?
Khan. And Malcolm X, he did a speech, talking about, the field nigga and the house nigga, right? He did a whole parable on that and how the mindset is different because I ain't gonna, go too much into it, but like if a scenario happens where the master is sick, the house nigga is like, oh, we sick, boss, but the field nigga is praying that he continues to get sick and pass, right? The house catch on fire. The house nigga is like, yo, hey, we got to get some water. We got to put this fire out. But the field one, he like, man, hey, send a gust of wind and keep this fire burning, right? So it's a different mindset that we have, right? And it's a different zeal that we have for the Most High and for our people than a lot of these coons do. But Con, I wanted to bring that up.
Con. And I think read that I read that speech from Malcolm X one time. I think hopefully this is it. Got what I pulled up. I'm gonna read it real quick. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I'm gonna read a couple lines from it. It says, "So you have two types of Negroes: the old type and the new type. Most of you know the old type. When you read about him in history during slavery, he was called Uncle Tom. He was the house Negro, and during slavery, you had two Negroes. You had the house Negro, and the field Negro. The house Negro usually lived close to his master. He dressed like his master. He wore his master's secondhand clothes. He ate food that his master left on the table, and he lived in the master's house, probably in the basement or the attic, but he still lived in the master's house. So whenever that house Negro identified himself, he always identified himself in the same sense that his master identified himself. When his master says we have good food, the house Negro would say, yes, we have plenty of good food. We have plenty of good food. When a master says we have a fine home here, the house Negro said, yes, we have a fine home here. When a master will be sick, the house Negro identified himself so much with his master, he say, what's the matter, boss? Are we sick? You know? And quick summary real quick. I'm going to skim through it. He says master pain was his pain. and it hurt him more for his master to be sick than for him to be sick himself. When the house started burning down, that type of Negro will fight harder to put his master's house out than the master himself would. And you got a lot of people like that. We call them coons today. They fight harder for the oppressor than their own people. They would much rather sacrifice themselves and their dignity for other nations than their own people. You got people that get mad at that. We had a brother up there. We was, he came up scoffing. He was debating, and in the midst, the brother was teaching. He told the Edomites that they were going to sleep. He was like, no, don't say that. Don't listen to him. He doesn't mean. And we over there debating scriptures, and he's so scared of these other nations and so indoctrinated that he stopped the debate to go defend his oppressor, and that's just sad. All right, let me go back to Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 25. It says, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season. What are you going to do? You going to sit in the house and watch Netflix all day, or Hulu, or whatever other streamers, or YouTube all day, or just sit on the comments section and scoff? And we know it's people like that. They just scoff about everything. The cameraman didn't pan the camera too quick enough. I couldn't imagine, and I'm not saying this to everybody, but I couldn't imagine being a grown man with a wife beat on, Cheeto stains, them black and red pajamas that every hood Jake got, and them house slippers, sitting there scoffing on the keyboard, and you haven't lifted a single finger. That's what Yahweh Shah said to the Pharisees. He said that. Let me get that real quick, and you got it. Let me get that real quick in Matthew 23.
On a comment board, you got the hole in your sock. Ain't put one boot on the ground. You in there with the Craig slippers on, with the hole in your sock, stepping on the back of the slippers.
Yeah, they ain't take the trash out. The house out of order. I'm not going to get into that, but
you didn't even brush your teeth yet. Just on the comment board, scoffing.
Yeah, brush your teeth, wash your feet, nothing. No lotion on. Just woke up and immediately, what new videos did they post in the middle of the night? I know they post them in the middle of the night. Got alarms. Let me read this. This is Matthew chapter 23 and verse 3. It says, oh, therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. We see it all the time. There's people in the comments, y'all shouldn't teach here. Y'all should go teach there. But when did you teach? Where did you teach at? Let me know. Wherever you teach at, we'll pull up. Y'all should do this. Y'all should do it. What should you do? You should be quiet. Go back to go back home, or you're already home. Go back to your room, or wherever you stay with, and let the men of the Lord do the work. If you aren't doing any work, be quiet. And that's and that's in sincerity also. Some brothers, they got disabilities. They might not be able to be out there. They might be younger brothers in bondage. But if you can't, if you sincerely can't, if you can't, but you just, you know, keep your mouth shut. But let me finish this in Hebrews chapter 11. I'm gonna read verse 26. It says, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater than the treasures of Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of their reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. Right? It says he forsook the wrath of the king. And that's what you have to do today. You have to forsake the wrath of America, the wrath of Babylon, the wrath of the world, you have to forsake these things. If you aren't forsaking these things, then you're forsaking the Most High. And you can't be scared of what, we're gonna get more precepts on that, but you can't be scared of what they're gonna do to you compared to what the Most High can do to you. The Most High hasn't showed you everything He can do. Brothers, sisters, and that's talking about everybody, me included. You don't know everything the Most High can do. You haven't seen all the terrors of the Most High. But you got it.
Come. I want to get this in Deuteronomy chapter 20 and verse number. I'm gonna start at 2. It says, "And it shall be when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, you approach this day to battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. For Yahweh your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you." So a lot of times in the scriptures, when you read about our men of war, right, and the men of valor that go out and do these mighty acts, that's the Lord doing that, right? And we always, the Lord is wrought in these victories. So with that being said, the Lord brought the victory through David, right, to take down Goliath. But David still had to show up with the slingshot, right? The Lord wrought that victory when Samson slew those 1,000 men. But Samson still had to pick up that jawbone and still fight. The Lord is going to bring the victory, but you still got to get up and put in the work. You still got to go out and fight, right? Jumping down to verse number 8, it says, "And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart." And you don't want to have that spirit of fear, because when brothers go to camp, we at war. This is war. So you don't want to go to war and you got a brother next to you. He fearful. He start bringing up the different betrayals of Succors, right? That his mind has reasoned, and now that spirit is hopping on other brothers. Look at them. They got their Bibles out. Oh, they might cut us up. Oh, look at these heathens. They look intimidating. Oh, it's a lot of them and it's a few of us. Man, if you don't man up in these last days, stop being a bee and come on, like, do this work. That's what it's about, right? And I want to bring this out too. Hebrews 4 and 12. It says, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." So this Bible, that's a sword, right? And the spirit that comes along in these scriptures, the spirit that comes along with the law, the testimony, these different accounts, the spirit that goes, it cuts down. It'll cut down any doctrine. It'll cut you if you going off. It'll cut your wife if she going off. It'll cut these nations and put them back in line. This sword is cutting down all these different things. So it takes us to use this sword to be skillful with, you know, swinging the sword. You got to know how to jab with your sword. You got to know how to slash with your sword. You got to know how to use your sword if you got to block. You have to, like, you got to know how to use this weapon, and you got to use it the right way. But what did the Lord say for the man that don't use his sword? Jeremiah chapter 48. Salakia. Jeremiah chapter 48 and verse 10. Salakia. Jeremiah 48 and 10, the Lord says, "Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully." Right? You're not even in this truth uprightly. You're not even in this truth sincerely. You're in this truth for fame. You're in this truth for vainglory, right? That same brother that said, if you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite, you're an idiot. That same brother said, hey, if you came into this truth, from 2012 to 2017, hey, you can make some money, but that's all over now. Your mind is bad. Spirit ain't right, right? And you're doing the work of the Lord deceitfully because you're not sincerely rooted in this thing. When you go home after a camp or after a feast day or after a fellowship, you ready to count up the money you done got from selling shirts to your brothers, or you out there selling incense and menorah chains, and that's what you worried about. You ain't praying behind closed doors. You ain't throwing up fast. You ain't exhorting your brothers and sisters, right? You're not fearing the Most High. You barely wear your fringes, right? You just kind of here, but you're in this thing deceitfully. You're only mighty from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. It's the only time you on fire. It's the only time you got zeal for the Most High, right? Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. You see that? And the Lord said that we at war. We're at war. So with that being said, you have to know how to fight with your sword. You got to know how to use your sword. And if you hold back that sword, meaning you hold back your tongue from speaking the words of the Lord, right? You hold back your hands from keeping the commandments of the Most High, right? You hold back your tongue from speaking the words of exhortation that your brother or sister may need, that precept that somebody might need, that breakdown that somebody might need. If you holding these things back, the Lord said, "A curse be you, man. Curse be unto you." Right? So we got to make sure that we doing this work, right? Stop being a bee and come on. You got it, King.
Come, come on, yeah. Like the brother was saying, you got to do work. You can't. The Lord's not dealing, and I hate to say it this way, but the Lord's not dealing um with bums, just lazy bums. Can't. I don't really know any way to put it. That's what That's what all these other religions teach. Um, that's kind of basically what they're teaching, just to be a lazy bum. You don't have to do anything. They just think you can say, "I believe in Jesus," and just sit there. Just just look around, just wait. What did the Lord? Let me go to Genesis. What did the Lord tell Noah? Let's go to Genesis. I'm gonna start at chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 13. It says, "And the Most High said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, before the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make an ark, pitch it within and without with pitch." Right? And I'm gonna jump down to verse 16. It says, "And a window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and in the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, to destroy all the flesh wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die." So the Lord gave Noah commandments. He gave him work to do. A flood is coming. He didn't say a flood was coming, and Noah just said, "Oh, okay, I'm just climb a tree or something." No, Noah built an ark. He built the ark for his family and to put the animals on there. He didn't just sit around and heard a flood was coming. All these Christians and other whatever you believe in the rapture or Armageddon, or say the end is near, but you don't do anything. You say you don't have to do anything. You just gotta wait. You just gotta believe. What that makes zero sense. How do you believe in something but don't put any work in towards it? You can't say I believe I'm gonna be the best basketball player ever and just sit there and wait. The NBA is gonna call me one day. I know they're gonna call me. You haven't been you haven't been to any gym. You haven't tried out for any team. Nobody knows who you are. You never picked up a basketball. I just believe they're gonna call me. You have to put in work. You have to. Is absolutely insane. And your work has to be sincere, not for money, not not from 2012 to 2017, so you could buy yourself a car. We're not these modern day pastors. They have to actually put some work in, right? Let me go to James chapter 2, and I'm gonna go to verse. I'm gonna start at verse 20. It says, "But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest how faith wrought with his works, and by our works was faith made perfect." All right, so by Abraham's work, his faith was made perfect. And you gotta have faith in the Most High. Abraham, we don't know what was going through Abraham's mind, but when you read the account in Genesis 22nd chapter, Abraham woke up early. He didn't delay. He didn't tarry. He didn't pace back and forth. Let me think about it. I might. He said I gotta do it before sundown. He didn't wait to the. He didn't wait to the end of the day. He did it as soon as he woke up. He said, "Come on, let's go," and immediately started going to work and started doing what the Most High said. There's no account of Noah waiting to the last minute to build the ark. There's no account of us as a righteous for Moses waiting to do the work of the Most High. When the Most High gave them commandment, they immediately did it. And that's how our people got to be. You have to immediately want to put this work in. I always see to myself that we got to catch up because there's people that have been in the truth for over 40 years, over 30 years, over 40 years. If you just came to the truth, you got to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
An elder, he's put in 40 years worth of work. And we know it's all by the grace of the Most High, but he put in 40 years of the work, and you only been here for 2 months, and all you doing is doing it for fame. We're scoffing. You got an attitude at camp. Your back hurt. Your knees hurt. I don't feel like going out there. It's scary out there. It's hot. Go ahead. Okay, but it's scary out there. It's hot. We don't have enough water. I'm dehydrated. Or it might be cold. So what if it's cold? It's always cold. It's every winter it gets cold. Every summer it gets hot. It's nothing new. When it's time to have fun, when you're in the world, when it's time to have fun or go to a party, it was never too hot. You found a way to cool yourself off. In the winter, when it was time to go Christmas caroling or whatever you did and wickedness in the world, you found a way to keep yourself warm. But now, when it's time to do the work of the Lord, you have every excuse. Oh, it's too hot. I'm not standing out there. Oh, I gotta go do overtime. Now you got to do overtime. But in the world, when it's time to go to the concert or go to Cancun on the vacation, you made time for that. Stop making excuses. Stop lying to yourself. You got to come out and do this work. Let me go to Nehemiah chapter 2. God, let me go one more precept real quick. I thought you had froze up, Ken. If you want to hop in there, you can, but I add another precept.
Con, you can bring it out.
All right, Con.
But I was gonna I did have a point though to go with that. You got to do this work, and read the book of Jonah. Jonah fled from the Most High, right? That's one of our forefathers that did flee from the Most High. And what happened? He was in that fish's belly for 3 days. And what did he call it? He referred to that as hell. You flee from the Most High will put you in hell. He'll put you in affliction. He'll put you in bondage, right? You doubt him. Uh, um, what's his name? Zechariah, John the Baptist's father, right? Hey, he kind of doubted the Most High. The Most High shut his mouth up. He couldn't even speak until John the Baptist was born, right? So the Most High, he'll judge you for not doing the work. He'll judge you for holding back on your gifts. But Con, you got it, King.
Con. Let me get this is the book of Nehemiah chapter 2, and I'm gonna start at verse 5. It says, "And I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my fathers, sepulchre, that I may build it." See, Nehemiah had a mind to work, and the men around him had a mind. Ezra had all the priests that were with him had a mind to work. They were adamant on rebuilding the wall, and that's how you have to be. We're spiritually rebuilding that temple, rebuilding that wall. Let me jump down to verse I'm gonna jump down to verse 16. I'm gonna start at verse 15. It says, then went I up in the night by the brook and viewed the wall, and turned back and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned. And the rulers knew not whither I went or what I did. Neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. Then said I unto them, Ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come and let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach. Because some people see things that need to be done and immediately get to work. I can't think of the word right now, but some people ignore that. You keep ignoring that leak in your house or your apartment. You keep ignoring that warning sign on your car. You know something needs to be done, but you just keep ignoring it until it gets too bad. Nehemiah saw a problem and was like, "We got to get to work. I can't keep seeing my people like this." And it killed me. It killed me at work all the time because, um, and Jake always either laughing at homeless people or people on drugs. I'm like, what are you going to do to help that person? Instead of laughing at that person, how about you try to figure out a way to help them? That doesn't upset you to see your people in that state. That's not something to laugh at. That's not funny. But you got people that don't care about that. But then you got brothers that do care about that. They go out on the highways and byways and say, "Oh, you're preaching hate." 95% of the time, we out there talking to Jake, teaching them to stop committing crimes. Nobody wants to talk about that. We say, "Stop! Look, stop! No, you can't murder somebody." In the cities we live in, we got to tell our people that you can't murder somebody.
Right.
You can't. You have to love your wife. You have to love your children, and that's what we out there doing most of the time. People want they just want to see what they want to see. You got it out.
Con. There was a precept, right? It was in Sirach, and it's slipping my mind, right? But Lord willing, I'll find it. But I wanted to bring this out in First Maccabees chapter 9. We got to remember that in being fearful, you can't do that, because at the end of the day, people's lives could be at stake. People's lives, people's salvation could be at stake because you're holding back on your gifts, right? And I myself, I be kind of beating myself up because I don't do certain things as often as I should, right? And me doing that, I'm like, I could be letting somebody down. Somebody's spirit could be wavering, or that flame could be flickering. And if I don't do this work, that could be blood on my hands, right? So we got to do this work. We got to show up. We got to be present. And whether you are the greatest among the people or the least among the people, everybody got a part that they got to play, right? Because even when you're reading First Corinthians 12, we talk about the spiritual gifts. You got certain gifts that are more valuable, or have a heavier weight than other gifts. But even with that, you still gotta bring your gift. You still gotta bring your gift. You still gotta show up and put in that work, right? But this is First Maccabees chapter 9, and I'm gonna start at verse 5. It says, "Now Judas had pitched his tents at Eliasa, and 3,000 chosen men with him." He had 3,000 men with him, right? Verse 6, "Who, seeing the multitude of the other army to be so great, was so afraid, whereupon many conveyed themselves out of the host." You see that? People seeing the stuff that's going on. Our people can see the persecution on the rise, right? If you're in this truth, you're an Israelite in this truth, you can see the persecution on its way. You can see these different things, these different spirits kind of brewing up on the earth. So a lot of things are fitting to happen, right? World War III is on the rise. So-called civil war is making its way, right? You got this whole situation with you know with these two. I don't want to say too much, but damn, the orange guy, and the woman that swears she Eve, and Eve is just eating it up. They going back and forth, and it's like, yo, he's Esau, he's like Esau's Jesus. Like that's like how they look at him. And then you got Eve over here just eating up the woman, right? She a damn Edomite too, Edomite or whatever. But like our people are eating this stuff up. But even with all of that being said, I said that to say that, you know, either way it goes, there could be a lot of contentions going on in the daughter of Babylon. There's gonna be a lot of contentions and seditions could be going on, and a lot of uprises and a lot of tumults going on due to one of them, you know, either way, whichever one of them kind of go in there and win that thing, there's going to be turmoil from that. There's going to be people that are pissed from that on either side, however it go, and it's going to cause things to happen, right? So I'm gonna read verse 6 again. Verse 6 again. Who seeing the multitude of the other army to be so great was so afraid, whereupon many conveyed themselves out of the host, and so much as there abode of them no more but 800 men. You see that? You went from 3,000 to 800 men, from a great multitude of Israelites to 800 men. Why? Because of fear. Because you allow fear to enter into your mind. You allow the multitude of the heathen, right? You allow these people who have ever been reputed as nothing, right? But they're being likened unto spittle. You let them, just because they're in a multitude, overthrow your judgment and have you to fear them and not the Most High, right? You've been to war with Judas Maccabees. You've seen the battles that he's won, that the Most High has won through his through the spirit that he was moving in, the might that he was moving in, right? You've seen all of that and you still fled, right? Our people be wicked sometimes, right? But I'm gonna jump down to verse 17. So they go to war, right? Judas and his 800 men, they go to war, and what happened? First Maccabees 9 and 17, whereupon there was a sore battle, and so much as many were slain on both parts. Judas also was killed, and the remnant fled. You see that? So you not showing up and doing this work, somebody could die because you're not showing up and doing the work. Somebody, if you're not showing up to camp on time, who knows what hell might break loose when camp first start. But you wanted to chill back. You wanted to take a nap. You wanted to kick your feet up and crack your toes and watch an episode of The Simpsons before you came out the camp. So while you doing that, your brother's out here going to war, and somebody could be being slain. One of your brothers could be getting killed because you want to sit back and chill out and eat a chicken box with a half and half. Go to war. Fight with your brothers, right? And don't have somebody killed because you didn't want to show up and do your part. Lacan, you got it, King.
Yeah, and I don't know. I probably would absolutely lose my mind if for some reason I had a spirit on me and I was being slothful and something happened to one of my brothers. And if you don't have to be part of a camp to be considered one of our brothers. If you if you if you sincerely keeping the commandments, you believe in the Most High and His name and His Son, but you're choosing to be slothful. You don't want to come out. You want to be fearful, and something happened to one of the brothers. That's on you. The blood is on your hand. The blood is on you because you were scared to come out. You could have been, that last brother that they need. You could have been that last brother that help from us from being overthrown. To help brothers from being overthrown. Or if you're in the camp and brothers go out and teach, I don't really feel like it. It's the Sabbath. I need the rest. Some people's minds are bad. Some people's minds are completely gone. Let me get this in the classic. Let me get 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. It says, "For the Most High have not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of the Most High. So it says, uh, be partaker of affliction, meaning you have to be out there. It's hot, whether it's cold, whether people are screaming at you, whether throwing stuff at you. The police are constantly trying to give you tickets or arrest you. You have to endure that affliction. If you're not enduring that affliction, what are you doing? What side are you on? If you're not enduring affliction, what side are you on? You might as well just be viewed as an actual Gentile, as an heathen, because you're not on the side of the Most High. You're not on the side of the Lord, because you're sitting there watching your brothers being afflicted, and you're not doing anything about it. You're not going out on that field. You're not being like how Moses was. In Hebrews 11, we read that Moses would rather suffer the affliction with his brethren than to. He had a good lifestyle. You know, at that time, Egypt was in power. He probably could get whatever he wanted at the snap of a finger. He's like, just forsake your people. But Moses was like, no, I'm going out there with my people. Whether you have to whip me, whether you have to beat me, persecute me, I'm going to be out there with my people. And I don't know if brothers saw it, but that's kind of like they kind of mirrored Planet of the Apes after that. You know, Caesar, he grew up with a human, and then he saw that that the other apes, they were being afflicted, they was in jail, and he eventually turned on, I don't know what would you call his owner, whatever you call it, the Edomite he was with. He said, "Look, no, I'm gonna be with my people." He's like, "Come on, I bailed you." He said, I'm gonna be with my people." Close the cage. I don't know if brothers seen the movie. Go ahead.
Yeah, he told him, he went to him, he said, Caesar, come home or something like that. And he hugged him. And when he hugged him, the ape said, Caesar is home. And I think that was the first words that he spoke in the whole movie. But yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
he's with that one Edomite, and then they was like, "Look, you gotta come get him." He was, and then they tried to come get him. He was like, "No, I'm not." He freed his own people, or his own, and whatever you want to call. But the moral of the story was that he rather suffer the affliction with his own people than to live a good lifestyle and forsake his own people. And that's what a lot of you Jakes are doing. That's what a lot of you Eves are doing, that are forsaking the truth. You're scared. You don't want to wear your fringes. You don't. Not saying you got to go to your manager and scream Romans 9 and 13, but put your fringes on. Something. Well, you're scared to wear them anywhere. You don't wear them to the mall. You don't wear them anywhere. Let me read this again. It says, "Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me as prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel, according to the power of the Most High." Yahushua wasn't afraid to preach that gospel. He went straight to the Pharisees. Matthew 23rd chapter is him just getting on the Pharisees, people in power. He wasn't holding back. So, well, I shouldn't talk to them like that because he got them no matter. And he didn't grow up in power. He didn't have a whole lot of money. He straight up and told them, "Look, you hypocrites, you're wicked, and what are you gonna do about it? We gotta follow after the Lord. You gotta know."
come. Nah, and he said it to their face. Like, he told them that to their face, right? And you know, like the brothers going into, we gotta have these spirits of boldness, right? We gotta have these spirits of boldness, the spirits of confidence that the Most High is with us. And with that, I'm gonna bring this out real quick, and then after that we can close up if you got closing precepts. This is Malachi chapter 3 and verse 8. And when I was in Christianity, right, pastors they bring this out every time before that damn collection plate go around or before that money start flowing, right? Malachi 3 and 8. The Lord says, "Will a man rob the Most High? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, Wherein have we rob thee, and tithes and offerings, right? Your tithe and your offerings, right? These are your spiritual things, right? The increase that the Most High has given you. All of that studying, all of that reading, and watching these videos, and you getting breakdowns from brothers. That's an increase, right? And you have to bring you got to bring that increase back to the Most High, right? You can't just hold on. You can't take all of the corn from the field and just bring it all into your house, and then you don't share it with nobody. It's just for you and your family. No, you gotta give tithes. You gotta feed the priest, right? You gotta bring sacrifices, right? You gotta atone for your sins. You gotta atone for your soul. You have to do things, and you have to offer up things that the Most High don't smite you down. That the Most High's anger is not kindled against you, right? And tithes and offerings. Verse 9, ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. You see that? So you're robbing your own people when you're allowing your people to be destitute of the gift that you may have. If you're a man of counsel, you're robbing your people of counsel by not showing up and being present to give counsel. If you're a man that teaches well and you can articulate and you don't go out and teach, you're robbing your people of a good teacher that they could look to learn things from. If you're a man of wisdom, even when it comes to something like finances, and you don't show up to give that wisdom, you're robbing your people of these things. But when you're robbing your people, and we're the Israelites, then you're robbing the Most High God. When you rob an Israelite, or when you're doing things to the Israelites, you're doing these things to Yahweh Shah and the Most High God. And we gotta realize and recognize that. So when we move and when we do things, these things that we do, it's bigger than just you, right? He says, even this whole nation, verse 10, bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house. We got to bring these because we're rebuilding the whole nation. We're rebuilding a whole nation, building a temple of the Most High. You need the wall, you need the foundation of the temple, you need all these different bricks and layers to build up this temple. And in us doing that, everything that you have, you got to bring it to the Most High. All of it, all of it. Bring it all into the storehouse, right? That there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith Yahweh of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Because when you're really doing the work of the Most High, right? What is the end result of you sincerely putting in the work for the Most High? We're doing this for the kingdom of heaven. And the Lord says that He'll give you blessings. I'm going to read it again. And pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. I've never lived a life where the Most High, where I'm being blessed to the point where I can't even receive it anymore. Being blessed to the point where I'm overwhelmingly, you know, happy, content, and satisfied with life, and I don't even want or need anything else. I've never experienced that on this earth, right? But I've experienced the joy of the Most High. I've experienced the spirit and the content that comes with operating in the fruits of the spirit, right? Doing the commandments, keeping the faith in Yahweh Shai and the Most High moving things on my behalf. I've experienced these things. But to have a blessing poured out, that there's not enough room to receive it, that's something you receive in the kingdom. That's the end game. We do these things now so that when the end comes, we can be found worthy. We can get that mansion at that time, right? You can have your chariot at that time. You can have the glorified body at that time. Go back and read Deuteronomy 28 and 1 and read about these blessings that the Most High promised to the Israelites for keeping His commandments. So if you enduring to the end, hey, these are the things that we got to look forward to. But if you're not enduring, you're not putting in this work, then you're robbing your nation and you're robbing the Most High God. And that's off. But Khan, you got it, King.
Come, two quick precepts. This is Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. It says, have not be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. So the Lord commanded Israel to not be afraid because he's with them wherever they go. If you have faith in the Most High that he's with you, and in sincerity, you have faith in keeping his commandments, then he's going to be with you. But that lack of faith comes when you're going off, when you're fearful, when you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Let me get one more closing precept. It's Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. It says, after these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. The Lord said, here's your shield. Egypt is not your shield. Babylon is not your shield. America is not your shield. Trump is not your shield. Harris is not your shield. And who else is going to run? Bernie Sanders, he going to run again for the 25th time? 99 years old. He's not your
Right.
the Most High is your shield. You have to have faith in him. That's all I have to say.
Con, I want to bring out two precepts. I spoke on the fruits of the spirit. Not the fruits of the spirit. So like, I spoke on the fruits of the spirit, but the spiritual gifts, right? This is 1 Corinthians 12 and 7. He says, but the manifestation of the spirit is given to every man to profit with all. For to one is given by the spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same spirit, to another faith by the same spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another diverse kinds of tongues, and to another the interpretation of tongues. But all these worketh that one and the self same spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. You see that? So there's different spiritual gifts, and whatever spiritual gift you may have, you gotta move, you gotta operate in that spiritual gift. You gotta bring that. That's a part of your offering. That's a part of your tithes. That's a part of your sacrifice, is to bring the gifts that the Most High have put in you and bring it to the church, that the whole church can be edified, that the whole church can grow, right? And then jumping down to verse 28 and start at 27, he says, now ye are the body of Hamashiach, and members in particular, and the Most High have set some in the church. First, apostles. Secondarily, prophets. Thirdly, teachers. After that, miracles. Then gifts of healing, helps and governments, diversity of tongues. You see that? So that's what I was speaking on earlier, is there are certain spiritual gifts that the Most High kind of looks at, more important than others. I'm gonna read that again, verse 28. And the Most High have set some in the church, first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, after that miracles, then gifts of healing, helps of governments, and diversities of tongues. You see that? So we gotta covet to operate in our spiritual gifts. Whatever gift the Most High is giving you, you gotta get in there. You gotta move. You gotta make it happen. Stop it. Come on, right? But this is my closing precept. This is Revelation chapter 2 and verse number 10. Right? Yahweh Shah said, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. You see that? So don't fear anything that can happen. Don't fear Jacob's trouble. Don't fear the torment that man can put on you. And there's a lot of videos going out of, people being put to death for, I don't know the reason, but it's being recorded and it's being put out there. Don't fear that, right? Don't fear it. And even if you got to go through it, you're doing it for the Most High, you're doing it for the kingdom, right? And you'll never have to taste of death again, right? You'll never have to have the spirit of fear upon you, the spirit of doubt, right? The spirit of fearing that the Most High is with you or not. Like, if you're martyred for this truth, that's precious in the sight of the Lord, right? Roughly paraphrasing. So, we're exhorting brothers and sisters to continue to go hard in this truth, to continue to push and magnify the name of the Lord. Bring your offering, your sacrifices to the storehouse. Stop being a bee and come do this work. So with that, Kwam Yashala.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Shalom.